another video on doctors. I uploaded 4 so far recently. So I finished up sort of with judiciary here, and I uploaded these 2 here and these 2 here. So the next one is about Ministry of Health, more precisely this guy, this piece of shit. So he's part of health inspection inspection, and there is also so-called, I don't know how to translate this, sanitary supervision,
Sanitary supervision.
Okay, so anyways, so these are 2 parts of inspection. So this is sanitary. This has to do with clean equipment, clean rooms, and so on and so on. So sanitary again. So this starts here. This is for medical I don't know how to translate this, and psychoactive substances. I really want to know what this is. Medical agents. Okay, cool. So this is about this guy who is a now, not this one, but this one. So he's now head of the unit for DA health inspection of Belgrade. He's Dr. Bratislav Milovanovic, and I found a few, actually 2 which are relevant to articles. There are a lot of articles about this case because it was a scandal. This is something that happened in June 2020. So guy called ambulance. They refused to come to pick up his wife who was without conscience. He has embolia. I think this is the right. Okay, I should not close this. Embolism. Okay.
Embolism.
I need to do this in order for the auto-translate to pick it up properly. So these are calls that guy made when he was calling ambulance, and eventually his wife, at that time she was 43, died. So this guy which I mentioned refused to give the husband of that poor wife the audio recording of these calls. He gave him only the transcript, which has some parts that are missing, and also director of ambulance or ER, this piece of shit, refused to give him this phone recording. So there he is, this guy, Bratislav Milovanovic. It says here that his Republic health inspector, and this stays here as well, Republic Health Inspector. So he refused to give me details on doctor's mistreatment of my father, my late father. So he sent me this on 27th of September 2019. So I reported doctors on, he didn't state here when I was complaining. This was, I think, even more than a year after I sent this. I sent those complaints, but I will see in video in this, screenshots of emails in that folder. I cannot search emails because I'm now writing another email, so I don't want to go back again to that. But anyways, so they examined what happened on 18th of September 2019. Okay. Yeah, so this is the answer he mentioned, and that answer was that they actually didn't want to send me any data I requested, because if they did, my father would be still alive. So this is the video on that report that he mentioned, and I don't know how to translate this. So he said that what I stated, he called this application, really. Okay, anyways. So he said that my statements from my applications are incorrect and general, and there are no new arguments nor facts which would be of relevance for further proceedings in determining mistreatment of doctors. So inspection closed the case. And of course I asked him afterwards. So he sent me this on 30th of September 2019, and I asked him on 2 days afterwards to explain some of his he didn't state it when I sent my report. That was actually crime report. How I sent it, which is mandatory. Okay, because it's sent using email, it arrived the same day. And this is important because he didn't answer within 15 days, which is by the law. He didn't explain his conclusions, which is also mandatory. Then I gave example of some scientific paper which doesn't have explanation, because he's a doctor. I mean, he's not necessarily a scientist, but he at least should be the intellectual quoted. So I asked him to send me his detailed CV, which he never did, to explain why he didn't answer within legal time frame, which is again 15 days, and then to send me detailed report from hospital Sveti Luka in Smederevo, where my father died, or his request to the hospital and their detailed answer. To send me all the data that I request regarding my report, and also what it means that my complaints, although this was again crime report that I sent, so he by the law should have forwarded this to prosecution in charge. This is according to the law or code on criminal proceedings. So I asked him to explain what does it mean that my complaints were incorrect and general, because I gave official documents of the hospital and other state institutions. I named all the doctors by their name, surname, detailed. There is a detailed description of mistakes they made on purpose. And I mentioned that doctors from that hospital, from Smederevo Sveti Luka General Hospital, they were invoking the Loan E signature, which could not be invoked in this case. And after that, when I explained that law cannot be invoked, doctors never answered, and so on and so on. I asked him to answer explicitly using email, and to confirm that he received this email, not to open new email communication or email thread. Okay, and this is some basic cultural communication, e-communication. So I'm not asking anything special from these guys. And I just made myself clear that this is international organized crime, which it is. Interpol didn't react, and I asked him to, and I offered to send him details on that, and monstrous crimes of psychiatric of psychopath. And he will, if he doesn't answer, he will commit international crime, which turned out was correct. It turned out I was right, which you can see in my YouTube channel. So Interpol, and that was that part, and I also in the meantime became witness in illegal arms trade. And there is also here the United States Department of Justice. Related to that, this video is more than enough to see what the whole thing is all about. And also FBI a lot of videos on that. So it turned out I was right, and I just want to show the something that I sent to Minister of Health, guy who is deeply in. He's no longer Minister of Health. I don't know where he is. This piece of shit, who was collaborating with mafia. He's called Dr. Death. You can see that this is a moron by a look on his face. So I sent him this email, and I asked him to confirm that he verbally said, he said verbally, he said to the lawyer of that hospital, Sveti Luka, that's her again. He told her that he did everything right regarding cases on my grandfather, grandmother, and father, because all of them were treated in that hospital. Or more precisely, she instructed her not to answer to my email, which is again described in in this video. And then some irrelevant stuff. And I asked him for his detailed CV, because I have here my detailed CV with international references. So none of state officials, ministers, doctors, prosecutors, high rank police officers, judges, and so on and so on, none of them, even ambassadors, I think that I also asked ambassadors, none of them sent me their detailed CV. You can figure out what it means yourself. I don't need to explain it. So this is for health inspection again for these two women, Ružica Bojanić and Jelica Radulović. I don't know if they're still there. I can check out. Oh yeah, I haven't finished regarding this guy, articles on this guy. So that was first article. So that poor woman died, and even BBC in Serbian wrote about that. So this is the name of the woman. It says 43 years, and I think this is something recent. Yeah. So this is still a thing. This is the name of that guy, Dejan Zainula. And he said because ambulance didn't respond on time, his wife died. So this is a scandal, that thing which happened, and this guy is in the middle of that scandal. It is still a thing, as you can see. People still write about that, and that was in 2020. Okay, so much about that guy. So much for that. So I don't want to finish. I want to finish up this thing with the Ministry of Health. So Ružica Bojanić, Jelica Radulović. Okay, I guess she's here. But I need to switch to Cyrillic. So what was the name again? Ružica Bojanić and Jelica Radulović. Ružica Bojanić, Jelica Radulović. So this is also health inspection. So she's chief of or head of that unit, and what's the area? I cannot figure out. Okay, so so I don't know if this is updated, but she's now the head of that unit for health inspection. This is probably for this part of the town, New Belgrade, Novi Belgrade, and she's chief of unit for health inspection of Belgrade. So I guess they're still there in Ministry of Health, if this is updated. So what I asked them here, and this is the date, 24th of June 2019. So Ministry of Health told me that they were working on a law on protecting rights of patients. So I asked them to answer where I can find the list of all the people who are working on that law and their detailed CVs. They never answered, of course. So why that law doesn't allow close family, parents and children to get so-called history of health history. I asked them detailed explanation. So that law allowed doctors from hospital Sveti Luka in Smederevo to return to my household MONSTROUS, who murdered 3 members of my family. So okay, I need to switch again. Oh, come on. This degenerate, this is her sister who gave guarantees for her. Both of them have severe psych issues. So what else? And of course that she is still, I mean at that time, and she's still not called to give statement regarding my grandfather's death. At that time it was possibly monstrous murder, but now it's definitely murder, because it turned out even in 2017, and this is covered up by top lawyers of Serbia, because top lawyers actually represent, they are actually bar association. So a lawyer, so her family, that monster, her sister and her husband are connected. Actually her husband, so husband of sister of that monster who murdered my family, her husband is connected with some of the most powerful criminals in Serbia and the region, and they tried to sue me, but no lawyer wanted to take the case. So in August 2017, no lawyer wanted to defend that monster. So they don't know what to do with her. She's now in a psych hospital. Then I gave some general general things on what happened, that everyone ignored me and so on and so on, all the institutions. And this is related to my father's inheritance proceedings. At that time, acting judges refused to answer, and I have a lot of videos on that judge, what she did afterwards. He, sorry, did afterwards. So probably the most brutal frauds in history of judiciary. So again, I was right about everything. So again, about that monster. So they sent that monster in 2019. So she was there for 4 years, actually 5 years, 2019, 20, 22, 23. So is it more? Yeah, more than 5 years. So 5 years and like 2 months. So I just reminded them on some scandal because their incomplete and inconsistent law, because some of the families had psychopaths in their household, in their home. They didn't know about that. Because of that law on patients' rights, protection of patients' rights, and I gave example when father who had psych issues threw his baby through the window, and of course baby died, and the problem was that he was treated psychiatric patient and his family was hiding that, and I promised that they will go to jail for this and for everything that's done to my family, and this is what's going to happen, and this is also important. So yeah, so that was the June. That was like 20 days before I contacted Interpol. So because there is direct connection with top of Ministry of Interior with the cover-up of monstrous murders on my family, I contacted Interpol. I contacted them using email, but they never answered. Then I contacted them using Twitter, and then things started to go forward, if I can put it that way. So Interpol. So this video explains everything. I'm not going into details. So these were those. So this is what this guy sent, and that. And that would be all. So I covered everything in this related to this issue, so I don't know, I mean, I can check out for emails. Maybe I missed something. From this guy to me. So only that one email. And his answer. So, and from these two pieces of shit, I don't know. Okay, that's something else. So let's see if they say nothing. and nothing, nothing, and finally DA, Minister of Health, that guy, doctor, death, nothing. So they never answered, and there are probably more emails that I sent to them, but I mean, what's the point in showing those emails if they haven't answered? I don't know if I sent anything. Yeah, I'm sending this right now. This is something that I already showed, so to minister. Yeah, there are a lot of emails, but they're basically this one. I just basically forwarded these emails, so I didn't really. Yeah, all of them are just forwarded, and of course they didn't answer. So I think I should finish it here. I think I covered everything that should be covered. So there is one more video on doctors. I think actually two. So I can finish this here.